Hello and welcome to our video on the Michigan CNA Registry. In this video, we're going to cover how to register for the CNA Registry here in the state of Michigan, as well as important information regarding renewing your CNA certification. Let's get started. First of all, it's important to know that the CNA Registry is run through MI-NATES. So the Michigan Nurse Aid Registry is maintained by the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, Bureau of Community and Health Systems. Any questions regarding the Michigan Nurse Aid Registry can always be directed to the Bureau of Community and Health Systems, Nurse and Medication Aid section. You can see the phone number and the email here. So if you have any questions or concerns regarding the CNA Registry, please make sure you reach out to either the phone number here provided or the email address. So once you successfully complete and pass both parts of the Michigan CNA state exam, you must still complete one more step in order to obtain a certificate of registration here in the state of Michigan. So in order to do that, we're going to go through MI-NATES and we're going to create an MI login account. Once we create this account, we're going to request access to MI-NATES, which is the Michigan Nurse Aid Training and Enforcement System. And we're going to set up a user profile in there. From there, we're then going to submit a new nurse aid application, and you're going to have to pay a $40 registration fee via the MI-NATES system. It is important to note that MI-NATES is not compatible with the Safari web browser, and you will not be able to successfully register using Safari. So an iPhone, iPad, or if you're using any form of Mac with Safari, please make sure you're using Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge web browser. You will see within our Michigan CNA state exam prep course, we have detailed instructions, user guides on how to go through this entire process, but this is sort of what it looks like to get on the CNA registry in the state of Michigan. Another really important part of your CNA certification here in the state of Michigan is the renewal process. As a CNA, you must renew your certification every 2 years prior to expiration date on your certificate. You do this by logging in to the MI-NATES system and submitting a renewal application. To do that, it is a $40 fee to renew your certificate. And if the application is incomplete or not submitted, your certificate will lapse and you will not be able to work as a CNA. You will end up having to go through a whole training program all over again. So I always recommend to CNAs, even if you change jobs, change careers, trying something else out, if you're able to and you qualify with some of these remaining things I'm about to cover, I always recommend you still renew your certification. It's still then valid, and if you decide you want to go back to work as a CNA, you're not stuck having to go through the training program all over again, paying for that, then testing again. And it's just great backup to have to fall on if you change your mind. So what typically happens is about 45 days before your certification expires, the Bureau of Community Health and Health Systems will send you an electronic renewal notice, and that usually comes via email. It's really important that in the MI-NATES system that your contact information is accurate so that you get this renewal notice. All right, it's a great reminder to go in and renew your certificate. When you go to renew your certificate, like I mentioned, it is a $40 fee, but there's two other things that you also need to do. You need to submit proof of employment providing nurse or nursing related working for monetary services, working at least 40 hours in the last 24 months or 2 years, right? So making sure you've worked 40 hours for pay in the last 24 months and submit proof of that. And then lastly, they require continuing education. So you're going to have 12 hours annually, right? So 12 hours the first year, 12 hours the second year, for a total of 24 hours where you're going to have to do an attestation saying that you've completed these. And it must include abuse, neglect, and care plan training within those 12 hours each year. It must be relevant to nursing related services as well. You're going to have to keep documentation on these annual continuing education hours that you've completed over each year. The document must include course name, location, hours of course, topic, and date completed. There's no true at this time as of 2026. There is not a current approved list as long as it's about nursing related services. There's within those 12 hours you have one on abuse and neglect and care plan training, and the documentation lists what's on here is required. Then that would qualify as your 12 hours of continuing education. Once again, 12 hours each year for a total of 24 hours. So this is how and what you need to renew your nurse aide certification in the state of Michigan. So once again, just a brief overview to cover that there is one final step after you take and pass the state exam here in Michigan, and that is getting yourself on the CNA registry. Once again, we provide detailed steps and more information and user guides in our Michigan CNA state exam prep course to be able to have those details as needed.